A Song to the Tune of Love by its_Kingston on AO3. Episodes 25. Chapter 7. Encore. We should try the ring toss. I think rings are more like knives than basketballs are. Maybe. Toga looked around, perhaps for an actual knife-tossing booth. Let's try it. 200 yen for 5 rings. Come on over here. 3 prize score nets you a prize. A full 5 rings landed gets you a refund to boot. The person running the stand declared. Their snicket seemed to be the bright yellow hat and gloves they wore. Interesting. All right. Toga put the money on the counter and scooped up the rings, handed one to Uraraka. We can see who does it better, she says with a fiercely smile. I bet I could win this. Uraraka replied back, more confident with this one. She touched all 5 fingers to it, gently tossed the wing, and watched it float through the air. The person behind the counter grabbed it. No quirk use. Try the right way. They handed the ring back. Aw. Uraraka accepted it back and released her quirk. Ha! Toga gave a smug smile. No quirk uses, Choco. Uraraka rolled her eyes, tossed the ring. It didn't quite make its target, bouncing and landing on the floor. My turn, Toga said afterwards. Hers didn't make it much further than Uraraka's. Aw? Where'd all that confidence go? Uraraka teased. Toga mumbled something, then said louder. On the floor with my ring, I think. Uraraka snickered, tossing her next and final ring. Surprising herself, it landed, looped around the bottle's neck a few times before setting around it. Awesome! She smiled. She turned to Toga, who held out a hand in a high-five motion. You make those 2 and you'll have a prize. Toga gasped, nodded. Yeah, I'm gonna make these 2, she announced. Some higher power seemed to be listening, because she did, in fact, make those 2 ring tosses. Yay! She wore a heart-melting smile as she was handed a little squirrel plush. She turned to Uraraka and offered it out like a platter. I wanted to give it to you since you came out here with me today, and it's cute, just like you. Toga said. Uraraka took the plush from her gracefully. Thanks, Uraraka replied. She leaned forward, left a quick kiss on Toga's cheek. I'm gonna call him Squirrely, Toga said excitedly. That works. Uraraka chuckles. Squirrely it is. Do you think we'll have enough time to play one more before the Ferris wheel? Toga asked. If we get there early, we can see the sunset and not have to wait forever in line. I think we have time. Yeah, we should make it quick though. What about that one at the end, the hammer throw? I wonder if they'll let you use your quirk. Toga said. She hurried over towards it, Uraraka in tow. The booth was more of an open field, with white lines painted over it, like an American football field. There was a metal weight towards the stall part, and Uraraka supposed that was the hammer. She recalled how Spinner and Dobby were arguing there not too long ago, and wondered if they were still in the area. 500 yen for the hammer throw. The further you get, the better the prize. Come along, dudes. Impress your ladies. The man called, looking around. You there, want to shoot? Yeah, sure. Uraraka said. Am I allowed to use my quirk? Is it a strength quirk? The man asked. No, it isn't. Well, I don't care then. He shrugged. Step right over. She heard Toga giggling as the man pointed her towards the starting line. Uraraka lifted the hammer, felt its weight for a moment. There's a fence back there, right? It'll hit something and stop? Uraraka peered back through the glowing darkness, spotting a fence. All right. Those are some bold words there, kid. You trying to impress someone? The man running the stand asked. Maybe a little bit, yeah. But I could get it back there, Uraraka said. She touched all 5 fingers to the weight and gave a good shove. It spiraled through the air, gaining more and more distance, leaving them behind. I should have been more specific, the man noted. The thunk of the weight lifting the fence was heard moments later. I guess you could pick your prize. Any you want, kid. Good job, Chaco. Toga cooed, running over to give her a hug. I knew you could do it. Thanks, Uraraka said. She metered around the prize area with Toga, eventually deciding on the largest black cat they had. And this one's for you, she said happily, offering the oversized plush to a blushing Toga. Really? She asked excitedly. Yeah, of course. For giving me squirrely, inviting me here and just, I don't know, being you. Uraraka replied with mirth. Aw! Toga wrapped the cat plush in a sort of affectionate headlock, and Uraraka severely hoped she'd behave differently with a real cat. As Toga nestled into the cat plush, eyes glowing with a mixture of awe and adoration, a soft smile made its way onto Uraraka's face. I love you. Uraraka giggled out, and it felt like the most natural thing in the world. Toga seemed to think so too, as it took her a moment of deliberation to turn her head back up towards Uraraka. Huh? Uraraka felt her face redden, though it was probably the color of Kirishima's hair by now. I said, I love you, Himiko. She darted forward, hugging Uraraka as close as she could, with the giant cat in between them. I love you too, Toga declared with so much finality that you would have thought they were married. They stayed like that until the area started to crowd, which was only about 20 seconds in all honesty. We should get going to the Ferris wheel now. It seems like that's where everyone is going. Toga backed away from her, but still held Uraraka's hand in hers. Yeah, I hope the line isn't too long. The line was longer than an AO3 waitlist, which roughly translates to really damn long. They picked up Dobby and Spinner on the way over there, both of which were loaded up on food. Hey, Dobby, Toga said. Do me a favor and start lighting people on fire. Sure, he grumbled, lit a fire in the palm of his hand. Move or die. What? He's just tired. He will not be threatening people anymore, Uraraka announced to the people giving worried looks. Right? She hissed. Sure. No warnings, just burning. I could get behind it. Dobby said, the corner of his mouth pulled up into a mischievous smirk, and the fire was yet to go out. People started leaving in the commotion, either scared of Dobby or bored of the line. Hey, you got some. Nice work, Chaco, Toga said, giving her hand a dotted squeeze. Hey, it was all my doing, Dobby shouted back despite being all of 3 feet away. The yelling might have also contributed to the people around them leaving. Uraraka wasn't sure if she should be allowing this as a hero. Well, her debut wasn't even scheduled yet, but it is still wrong. Yeah, I know you helped too. Thanks. Toga turned a fanged grin his way. Okay, calm down, Uraraka said. You really can't be burning, threatening, harming, or otherwise scaring people to make them leave. How about intimidation? Dobby asked. Nope, just waiting in line. He said, standing there for a moment. Good thing I don't take orders from you. Huh. He then walked forwards, flames roaring above the palm of his hand, soaking everything in a blue light. Out of the way, or you get charred. Make space, come on now. Surprising no one, everyone began to run away. Really? Uraraka asked, sighing. I'm more surprised that you aren't used to this yet, Toga said. Honestly, I kind of am, Uraraka admitted. If he's not gonna listen and stop, we should at least make use of this and head up in the front of the line. Now you're getting it, Toga grinned. The pair began heading past Dobby and the crowd of people he was chasing around. His laughter was like an old car engine turning over. A smirk plastered across his face. Spinner was more interested in following Uraraka and Toga to the Ferris wheel. It was emptying now, as the operator lowered the final basket to the ground and ditched the control panel. I'll raise you two up. Spinner called over the sound of the screaming and burning. Uraraka hoped Dabi had enough sense to not get himself in any sort of charges. Well, attempted massacre was definitely a thing. This didn't boat well. It wasn't Uraraka's problem at the moment, though, so she happily stopped thinking about it and got on the Ferris wheel. They sat down in the basket, side by side, and the doors closed, the sound of screaming vanishing a good deal, and Uraraka thanked the material for quieting the noise. They began to lift up, and Toga stood, watching out the window. "This is so cool," she said, rushing to the other window. "Yeah." Uraraka stood up to join her, wobbling a bit as she got used to the uneven ground. "You can see Dabi's fire from up here." Toga laughed. "That isn't good." "He's got it under control. It hasn't left his hand yet." Toga tapped on the glass. "That yet is for boarding, though," Uraraka said. "Yeah," Toga replied. "But there's better things to do. Look!" She spun around and pointed towards the side, showcasing the setting sun. The sky was turning orange and red, and Uraraka thought it to be a beautiful backdrop as she stared at Toga. "Beautiful," Uraraka said softly. "Yeah, and the clouds look like cotton candy. Hey, do you think the visor will be open when we get down? I want to get some earlier, but I got distracted," Toga said. "You got distracted? Never," Uraraka said lightheartedly. Toga stuck her tongue out at her. "I wanted to go play the games." She didn't tear her gaze from the sunset. The sky was beginning to fade to purple, and the way it reflected off Toga's eyes made it look like Uraraka was staring into space. "You aren't going to watch the sunset?" Toga asked, giving her a knowing smile. "No, I got distracted." Uraraka laughed lightly. "Can I kiss you?" "Yeah," Toga replied happily, tenderly. All right, okay, the next one's oh Jesus fucking Christ, that's a big boy. The next one's the last one, but it's not the last episode, it's the last chapter. And this is looking to be at the absolute least 4 episodes. Yeah, so we probably have 4 episodes left, or maybe even a whole goddamn motherfucking week, who knows. Reading comments really give me motivations and ideas, so I'm here delivering the silliness again. Oh, and reference, I brought these two. I don't think of a better name for this chapter, so I dropped the original names. Processing. Hope it's not so bad, but this is the first thing I put down, and I've grown attached. Final chapter, for real this time, I think. I could probably be convinced if someone presents me with another inspiring idea, lol. Kingston! Maybe I could give you a little idea. Okay, no. Once we're done with this, maybe. I mean, are we getting a wedding episode? We could get a wedding chapter, just saying. We didn't get a wedding, we got a proposal chapter in Villainous, but can we get a wedding chapter in a song to the tune of love? No, I'm joking, you don't have to write for me, or anybody at all. You don't have to write. You do not have to write. But a wedding chapter would seem nice. Even if it's not this, I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't be nice. Who would be... Oh my god. Dabi as the maid of honor. I need to see that. That would be hilarious. Who would be better as a maid of honor? Dabi, Shigaraki, or Karagiri? You know, it could be Spinner or Twice, but for some reason I see it either one of those 3. And why is my thingy either Dabi or Kirigiri? Oh my god, Shigaraki has to be the flower girl. Without a goddamn doubt. Motherfucker has to be throwing flowers everywhere. I mean, like, they're gonna disintegrate. Like, I can imagine him picking up a bunch of, like, you know, flower petals and then throwing it out, but it's no longer flower petals, it's just a bunch of disintegrated dust. Just disintegrated flower petals, just dust. So he's just throwing dust everywhere. Like, the basket has flower petals, but he's not throwing that. They get disintegrated. Maybe 1 or 2 get to, like, escape free. No, they're not. They're all getting disintegrated. I want him as a flower girl now. Okay, he's a flower girl. Twice is gonna be the ring bearer. Oh, okay. Dobby definitely has to be the bride of maid. The maid of honor then. I don't give a shit that he's not a maid. He's not a woman. The man of honor. And then the bridesmaids, or the brides... mans? I don't know. Would be the rest of the league. Okay, well, Uraraka, it seems like in this fanfiction she's more close with Mina. Therefore, I think in this one, Mina would be Uraraka's maid of honor. Followed up with sooo. I think Deku being one of the maids of honor would be, not a maid of honor, but a bridesmaid would be funny. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. On to the notes for this chapter. I'm sorry. If you don't write it, Kingston, I'm writing it. But, not necessarily linked into this story. It could be a different one. But as I was saying, funny bit aside, it has been super fun doing this so far. I think this chapter was really nice. You know, the whole hammer toss, the ring toss was nice. The Ferris wheel, this whole chapter was nice. I also really liked that little bit of, the line was as long as an AO3 waiting list. Which I will say, it is fucking long. I think when I got this account, because I have been reading AO3 for a while, but I did not get an account till there was a really big fanfiction out there that was locked, and the only way you could read it is if you had an account. But before that, I would read fanfictions off of AO3. I just never made an account. I just didn't. And when I made an account, the waitlist was backed up months. I actually had to wait a month and a half before I got mine accepted, and it just got worse and worse. There was a really big fanfiction. People from AO3 might know it as the fanfiction that broke AO3. Yeah. But I was reading AO3 before that. This account probably is only like 4 years long. 4 years old. Maybe. I don't remember. I think it was 2021 or 2020 no, it was 2021 when I made this AO3 account. It used to be under a different name. But I never had like an account before that because I never had a reason to make an account. I never commented. I would leave kudos anyways, and you could leave kudos as a guest and whatever. But like, I never commented. I never did anything, and you could still comment as a guest anyways. But like, I just sat and read, and that's all I did. I didn't bookmark either back then, right? So I was like, okay, I don't need to make an account, right? I would have to wait, and like, what's the point? I'm not gonna make an account, and I never made an account. And then that happened, where I needed to read that one fanfiction because everybody was raving over it, but then I had to wait literally months. But even without that situation, it's pretty long. Sometimes you have to wait a week, 2 weeks. It's long. Especially comparing it to a line at, amusement park to get on a ride. A week, 2 weeks, that is long. Anyways, I'm gonna leave these notes now. As always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.